Welcome, it's Dawn with For Grace Creations. I have some Happy Mail to send out, and it is flat. So, I want to jazz up just a plain manila envelope and make it look cool for sending some Happy Mail. So I thought, I'll bring you along because maybe you've never done this before. But first, we need our scripture card, our grace note for women and men, because the word of the Lord is for everyone. Psalm 145, verse 18. The Lord is near to all who call on him, to all who call on him in truth. That is today's Bible verse. I have a large envelope. It is, 12 inches long and 9 inches wide. And the very first thing that I usually do is I get some book pages and sheet music, and I just glue them down. So I thought we could start off with a large piece of sheet music. And because this will be in layers, some of the layers are going to be kind of wet and they're going to need to dry. So you could get out a hairdryer, or you could get out a heat gun if you have one. So I'm just going to use some watered down PVA glue that I did put some eucalyptus oil in so that it smells amazing every time I open this jar. And I'm just going to kind of paint my papers. Just know that when you use PVA glue, it is a water base. So it is going to warp or get wrinkly, that kind of a thing. I will end up, in the end, after everything's dry, I'll end up putting it under something heavy overnight. Okay, so there's our base layer. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some homemade gesso. And just maybe put some on there to give a little bit of texture. It's pretty wet now, so I do need to let this dry. The next thing I'm going to do is come in with some colors. You could use crayons, colored markers, colored pencils, anything you want to do a little mark making. I want to come in with some Distress Oxide sprays. I've got cracked pistachio, and this one is Fired Brick. Boy, that took a long time to dry. So now I'm going to come in with stencils. And yes, I did use my heat gun. And next we're going to do some stamping. Look at this cool stamp I found at a thrift store. It just says draft, and it does this red ink that does take forever to dry, and it does dry a little shiny, but I thought that would be fun to add to this. Now, I want to do a little washi tape. and some of this. Just gonna get it a little bit wet. Now I need to let it dry, and then I can do something fun on the other side. You know, I decided to just put a pretty piece of scrapbook paper on the back, and I think I have decided that I actually will put my address labels here. You know, my label will go here. I'm going to tape this shut with probably some pretty washi tape that goes with this. And then the stamps will go here, and who it goes to is going to go here. Because I didn't really want to do anything more with this front. I kind of like it. So there you go. Just a fun way to spice up a flat mailer. And then what would you do if you received something like this? Well, obviously you take your items out of it, and then I actually would cut it open, and then wherever there's something that you think is cool, I would save that, because this actually, once you take the other layer off, this front could be a page in a journal. It could be taken and cut into different tags, journaling cards. It could even be used as the cover of a journal. There's so many options with this. So basically, you just put layer upon layer upon layer. Now, if you notice, this one has some shine. That is because I used some Tim Holtz texture paste, and it is the Sparkle. Let's see if I can find it. It is this Ranger Distress Texture Paste Sparkle. It's translucent when it dries. And I just put down a stencil and put some of that in that stencil, and it gives it a little more texture and just some fun sparkle. We could do that here. The problem is the sparkle, in my opinion, is silver. And I already added gold. Do you see some of that shiny gold? So I don't think I'm going to do that to this one. I think this one stays as it is. So now I can actually send out a couple of happy mails. I'm so excited. Let me know if you plan to try this. And if you have an Instagram and you make this, take a picture of it, put it on Instagram, and tag me at For Grace Creations so I can see this. That would be so much fun. As usual, guys, have a blessed day, and I thank you for being here. See you next time.